All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Gary Finneth. I am the marketing director here at Taylor Properties. Today, I'm also joined with Kyle Stolte. He's a senior loan officer here at Heritage Financial. And we are extremely thrilled to present to you the Instagram for Real Estate webinar and how to get clients, how to grow your business on the world's fastest growing social network. Instagram in particular has been one of the platforms that a lot of our agents have been interested in. Right now, Instagram is actually the number 5 most visited website in the world and number 7 in the United States. So what that tells us is that it's a very popular platform. A lot of eyeballs are on the platform. So that's where we should be as marketers, as real estate agents, to push our message out, try to attract clients, and just try to grow a brand in general. So this class will teach you all the ins and outs of the platform, some of the high-level basics, but we'll also get into some of the details about each thing. And then also what you can do on each particular item to attract clients and, again, build your brand and kind of be top of mind throughout the year and day, week, months, whatever it is that you're doing your marketing. So we have a lot to cover today. So I'll pass it along to Kyle to get started. Kyle, you're on mute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I feel like that's a rookie mistake that I should have made back in the beginning of the pandemic, not now. But it is what it is. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. Did you give me the presenter option, Gary? I don't see it.
I did.
I see it here. Sorry. All right.
And again, everyone, this webinar is going to be recorded, so you have to jump out for a meeting or drop off for whatever reason. This meeting will be uploaded to your agent dashboard as well as our YouTube page. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in at any time and unmute yourself and just ask, or you can just type it in the chat and I can relay that message to Kyle.
Cool. So you guys can all see the PowerPoint here, the Instagram for Real Estate.
Yep.
So as Gary mentioned, it's the fastest growing social network. TikTok has actually recently overtaken that. However, about 60% of their users are under the age of 24. So that's not really the target audience that we're going for. So Instagram is a very good target audience because the average age is about 35 of the user. It's actually 34, and the average age of the home buyer today is 35. So we're right in that category for Instagram, and it's going to be essential for you to have a good profile if you want to attract the millennial buyers. But this is our target demographic, and again, I'll talk a little bit about me towards the end, about what I do. I provide this as a service to you guys. In hopes that you find something out of this, that you get some more business, and that you find yourself reaching your goals and obtaining those goals. And hopefully I can be there along with you to help your clients, whether that's for questions, an actual loan, whatever it is. If we can partner with you in any way, we're the in-house team here. We have a great team. We get loan closings done on time, every time. And we're just very happy to be partnered with Taylor Properties to bring you guys content that helps you grow your business and helps everyone here. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here today, because that's really step number 1 to wanting to be better, wanting to grow your business, is showing up. So you did show up. Let's get into a little bit. You saw the agenda. And again, if you guys have questions, I have the chat up. So please feel free to ask questions on there. I'll monitor as best I can. And if I have to go back, I'll go back. It's not a big deal, but I'll go at the pace that you guys like. And if you see me picking up pace, or you want to touch on something a little bit more, again, just let me know. But the agenda here, as you guys saw, we'll go over all these different items as we go through today, give you guys some ideas as to what you should be doing on Instagram, some best practices, and kind of go over the whole high level overview. If there's more in-depth presentations that I have about running ads for Facebook and Instagram, if that's something you guys are interested in, let us know. We could set up a class for that as well. But for now, this is, again, just a high level overview for you. So Instagram is really, you can use it as an individual or a business. And this is more for the business, obviously. We're going to register it as a business profile. As a business, you have access to additional features, which I'm going to review as well, but that's what you want to register your profile as. So right now, Instagram has 1 billion monthly active users, and more than 500 million of them are on the platform every day. You generate 4 times more interactions compared to Facebook on Instagram, and the average user spends about 53 minutes per day on the platform compared to the users of 58 minutes per day on Facebook. So there's a lot of positives as far as the amount of time that's being spent on here, and it's an easy way to get good pictures out and just eye-catching material that'll put you in line with some of the demographics that we want to attack. So again, here, 50% of IG users, Instagram, IG, you might hear me say that a lot. IG is just short for that, but they follow at least one business. And I think if you're on Instagram now and you look through the people that you follow, you'll find that you probably follow more than that, especially since you are in the industry. But with 1 billion users on the app, 71% of which are under the age of 35. So again, 34 is the average age of the home buyer today. So this is a very good target demographic for what we're looking to attack. And 500 million Instagram accounts use Instagram stories. So if you don't know what Instagram stories are, we're going to talk about that and how to best set that up. But it's a very good way to get out in front of a lot of the Instagram users. So to get started with Instagram, obviously, you have to download the app, right? So if you don't have an Instagram account today, download the app, set up a free business account, and you're going to share content and follow people, which we're going to discuss. If you do have an app, you're going to need to switch it to a business profile. So you can use Instagram as an individual or a business, but the business, again, you have additional features such as it's called insights that you'll be able to use that tracks a lot of different things. So you want the business profile because through insights, you get to see how your followers react and interact with your posts and your stories, and you get to look at the metrics on how these perform throughout the day. They give this to you for free. Any other place you're paying for these kind of analytics. So it's a very good tool to have. And it's a very, once you start playing with it, it's very insightful. Not to be saying puns, but it's a very good tool. And if you play with it more and more, you can get really in depth as far as what hashtags are being successful and getting the most likes for your posts, a lot of different stuff. So we'll discuss that a little bit, but this will have information about your company, business hours, location, phone number. If you guys were here with me last week or a couple weeks ago when we did the Google My Business, that also, again, you want to have the concurrent, like the same contact information on all these different things, but it allows them to contact you right away. Without having your contact information on there, you're not going to get the same results. So if you just want to be a social media person, you don't want people calling you, you're not going to get the same kind of turnover on those clients. So to switch to a business profile, if you have a personal profile, you're just going to go to the settings and you'll see an option that says switch to business profile. So you'll be asked to log in to Facebook within the app. And then after that, you have to pair it with a Facebook page that you want to connect to. So I recommend if you don't have a Facebook business page, then you need to set one up. Otherwise, it'll be tied to your personal account on Facebook. So for me, I have a personal Facebook page, a business loan officer Facebook page, and that Facebook page mirrors my Instagram, which I don't have a personal account anymore. It started off as one, but now it's just my business account. And when I say a personal account, these can still be your personal account. So we'll talk about that and what to post and why it can still be very much personal. But for the purposes of this, you want to set up a business account for Instagram and tag it or tie it to your Facebook account. And I did have a presentation a few months back about setting up your Facebook business profile. If anybody missed that, we can certainly send the slides to you. That way you can at least set that up for all of this. At this time, only one Facebook page can be paired to that account. And if you don't see the option to switch it to a business account, you need to set your profile to public on Instagram. So all these instructions we're going to give to you, so you guys have, you don't need to write any of this down, but I want to go over this so that you guys all understand when you see it. Oh, I heard Kyle say I have to switch it to public or whatever else we go through. You want to choose product or service when you choose your category. There's no real other option that's going to fit with what we're doing. So product or service, again, is the one you want to use if you're a real estate agent. And then here's the insights. So when you switch to a business profile, you're gaining all of this different information that you wouldn't if you had a personal profile, which is the biggest perk of having the business profile. It allows you to see performance or breakdown of new followers, profile views, impressions, number of posts, your reach, how many people click to your website and your profile, email clicks. You could see detailed demographic information about your followers, such as their gender, their age, their location, the activity peaks. If you see down at the bottom here, where it says on the right, the followers, that 12 a.m., 3 a.m., this right here, this shows you what time your followers are actually on Instagram. So when you schedule or you do a post, it's best to do it during those times because you're going to get the most eyes. And we'll talk about scheduling posts and things as well. But this insights tool is something that you're going to want to play around with, as I said before, because it's going to give you a lot of information. And you're going to realize how much these social media applications actually track you because they know your age, they know your location, they'll give you all that information for the people that follow you. So they allow you to use the same advertising tools as Facebook on Instagram. So with an Instagram business profile, you actually run ads the same way you do on Facebook. If anyone here is using Facebook to run ads, it's going to be very similar. If you haven't, again, that's a class that we're going to be doing. So Paula asked do you have to use Facebook or can you use another social media site? Because Instagram is owned by Facebook, it's got to be Facebook. It's not another profile that I can connect to. So you would have to ask, or you would have to set up a Facebook profile in order to do it. And you should want to do that as well because of the amount of people that you can connect to on Facebook. So setting up both is the hard part. Getting them to run and moving forward is a kind of learn over time. You're not going to be a professional day one, but we're going to talk about tips and tricks so you don't have to feel like overwhelmed with all the stuff that you see other people doing. If you follow any other real estate agents and their profile just looks professional and eye-catching, we're going to talk about how to do that and what you can do to make that look a lot easier and a lot better for your profiles. As far as running ads, again, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. We can talk a little bit more about that in a future presentation if we have enough interest. So for your Instagram profile, well, hold on, there's a couple questions here. Are there any disadvantages to pairing your business Instagram to a personal Facebook account? So we're going to talk about this in a second, but for my Instagram, I have it tied to my business. So anytime I post to Instagram, there's an option in Facebook where it'll actually post to your Facebook account as well. So when I post a story or an Instagram picture or something to the feed, it'll automatically post to my Facebook. So I'm doing two for the price of one and, the effort of one. So I have all that stuff connected. If you do it to a personal profile, you don't have to carry that post over, but if there's the only disadvantage would be that you don't have a separate place just for your business stuff. Personal is more for the friends, business. You want your clients looking at it. You want to post stuff that's relevant to the market, news articles, rates are going up, inventory's low, those kind of things. And definitely post those things to your personal. What I do is I post it to Instagram, it posts to my business Facebook. And if it's good, I'll take and share it on my personal Facebook page. I'm sharing it then to 3 different completely audiences that are then all seeing those different posts. And if I share it from my personal page, it looks like I'm sharing news, and somebody will, still look at it the same way. So it's just different eyes. You can pair it to your personal, but you have more advantages to having an extra account for the business.
Yeah, Christina also brings up a good point about ads and promoted posts. So if you're using your personal Facebook page and not a business Facebook page, you cannot run ads on Facebook. Facebook limits ads to business accounts. So let's say that you had a good post that you wanted to pay to push out to people outside of your network that you're already connected with. You can only do that from a business Facebook account. You cannot run ads from a personal account. So just a heads up there. And we also did a presentation in the past or basically around business Facebook pages. And we can send that presentation to you as well, just so you have a little bit more information and background on that.
So for the Instagram profile, if you guys are on Instagram now, you probably know that there are people that you just have to follow. People that you just post good content. You're always looking at their stories. You're always looking at their feed. This is not by accident. There are things that you can do to make your profile attractive, user-friendly, and that's the same thing in life. What they say about first impressions or everything, it's the same is true online. So you want to make sure you have a profile that pops. Some of the things you can do is have an image of yourself that is good. You don't want a non-professional image. This person, Kyle Whistle, has a headshot that stands out, and it allows them to see who you are. Some people put a logo here. Now that's up to you what you want to do, but I find that people like to know who I am and like to see me, especially since I'm not like you guys where I'm on the ground meeting, shaking hands all the time. They get a call from me. They don't know who I am. So my face, I think, needs to be on there so that they can see who I am. For you, that's up to you. But if you're going to use a logo, make sure it's consistent with the rest of the material and branding that you use. If you're going to use a logo, make sure it's your logo, not a Taylor Properties logo, a Keller Williams, or it's your team logo or your logo, because Taylor Properties, that's not personal to you. Nobody's going to follow an account with just that logo on there, since there's so many different Taylor Property agents. So again, I would recommend using a headshot, a good headshot. If you don't have a newer one, get a newer one. But it's the best way, in my opinion, to show that you're more personal and that you're a person. Make sure it's bright, not fuzzy, all that good stuff. The username is a big one. So the username is a one-word, lowercase, what's called a handle that serves as your Instagram URL. So when you do any engagement, you comment, you post, you like anything, you're known by that username. So this should be something recognizable, that's brand specific, and that you want to be known by. So it's also what people are going to use when they mention you in a comment. So it's going to show up a lot of different places. Mine is Close with Kyle. Very simple, very easy, but it just kind of shows what I do. I'm in a transaction of some sort, right? You click on my profile, it says mortgages right away. So you understand Close with Kyle, mortgage loan officer. But it's going to be up to you, and you can change it as well, as long as it's not taken. But start with one that's very simple but specific to your brand. So this person, used their name, and you'll see that your username and your Instagram name are important because they're the two only searchable criteria on Instagram. So if they're looking for Chad Carroll of the Chad Carroll Group, they can type in the Chad Carroll group, this will come up, or they can type in his username, which is circled, which will also come up. So your Instagram name is actually the display name on the profile. So that's the Chad Carroll of the Chad Carroll group. So the Instagram name and the handle are different, right? So the handle is that little thing that says close with Kyle. The Instagram name is Kyle Stolte, mortgage loan officer. You have a bit more flexibility in the Instagram name. You have 30 characters. So you can use, whether it's a realtor of Annapolis Taylor Properties or Prince George's County realtor or whatever it is, you can use kind of a locality if you can fit it in there. But that way you can even get more reach than just your name, right? Because they can tell what you do by the display name. See here. So I have a question here from Michelle. Facebook requires a main phone number different than your personal cell to run ads, especially because I have my salary related to my personal business and Facebook pages for the validation process to set it up. What will we use? So I actually have not encountered that because I don't, it's been a while since I set up the Facebook. So maybe Gary will be able to look at that and see and give you guys some advice after the presentation. But for now,
I have to keep the business open because it's under business, but it's not for a business. It's for my elected stuff. My campaign and elections things. And so I have to keep that active while I remain in my elected seat. So
gotcha.
That means that my cell phone already has has Lincoln. And so I don't know how to overcome that because that is, they won't let you go through it. So when I set it up, I'd like to know in advance, if possible, what that could look like to get that reconciled. If you have any ideas.
I think I can definitely help you out there. I'll take a look into it, but I don't know the answer off the top of my head, so I don't want to give you a wrong answer.
Yeah, I didn't want to take up time on individual, but
you're good.
When you were talking about setting up, I was like,
you're fine.
If I recall correctly, I had to have a phone number in order for them to hit the go button.
Gary and I will look at that for you, and we'll definitely get back to you. I don't know the answer though, but that's a good question because some people are part-time realtors and have another job on the side. So that's a very valid question that will get answered for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's the other way on this case, but I only get $9,000 a year for that thing.
Well, Gary, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, just off the top of my head, I know a few years back, Facebook required a phone number for two-factor authentication because they were having some security issues. So they might have required at that time when you were setting your page up to validate some sort of phone number so that they know that it was actually you setting up that account.
And it's a business for real. Yeah, that there was some kind of business for real setup. Yeah.
So potentially, what you could potentially do, I'm not exactly sure if you can actually do this, so take this with a grain of salt, but you can potentially change the current phone number on that existing account. So that way the phone number that you want to use is no longer associated with the existing account, and then create a new profile with the phone number that you just took off, if that makes sense.
It does, because I actually have a ghost phone number. I have two ghost phone numbers, one for my notepad and the other one was for the campaign, and I kept it, but I don't pay attention to it, so I could probably throw it into there. Okay.
Yeah, so that's potentially what you can do, but like Hal said, we'd have to dig into it a little bit more. It's more of a technical question we'd have to get with Instagram and or Facebook.
Yeah, because my cell phone is how people should be contacting me, is the irony. So on this profile itself, it should have that to begin with. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I think I have too much in my personals on there too. So okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So next, we need to talk about setting up a bio that will attract people once they come and see your actual profile. So you want something that sizzles, and you have 150 characters here, so you need to make them count. That goes very quickly. So you want to tell people what you do, who you are, what they can expect to see from your Instagram, and tell them why they should follow you. You want a short description of your specialty, like if you're in luxury real estate, single family homes, downtown, whatever it is that your specialty is, make sure you're announcing that. What sets you apart, I guess. And then you also want to discuss the area or neighborhood you service, and keep it short, punchy, very quick, very relatable. And then you want to link your website, blog, or listings page. So this bio here is a good example of doing the bare minimum. This doesn't pop out to you. They still have 639 followers, which is very good for a local agent, but it's just not giving you a lot of, it's not, jumping off the page. I think you guys would agree, but it does have their link to their website and their address. And if you see down at the bottom, it says call, email, directions. Again, this is going to be important for you to set these buttons up so that people can contact you directly when they want to. And we're going to format it to make it a little bit easier to read. And we'll talk about how to set those up and why it's important. But if you look here, look at Jen. I mean, Jen has little emojis in there. And then she's got a good picture. The amount of followers just speaks to how her thing is set up. And then you have her or link to her website. And then you have the contact information below that. And on the right, you have another realtor, Sarah, slightly sarcastic, serial laugher, and then her picture is her laughing. So you can tell it pops off the page a little bit more. It's a little bit more attractive. Guys, we're not here to reinvent the wheel. If you see something you like, use it. Okay. You're not stealing. This is all public information. If you see somebody in Texas doing an outstanding job as a realtor and you love what they're doing, use their post, send them a message. Hey, I'm inspired by what you're doing. If you don't mind, I'm just going to take some of the stuff that you use and kind of use it as my own, but I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work. People love to hear that kind of stuff. And by the way, if they ever have somebody moving to Maryland, you never know. They might reach out to you. I just had a friend on Instagram, I guess somebody I'm connected with on Instagram who followed me from Florida, and he sent me his brother who's buying a home in Maryland. So that just happened yesterday. So it does happen. It's never happened to me before, but it does happen. So below the profiles, if you see there's those little circles, those where it says on Sarah's, it says listings, marketing, in my car, interviews. So these are called story highlights. And what they are is kind of I guess it's like a quick commercial for your Instagram page. And you can set up these however you would like. And we'll talk a little bit more about these in a moment, but they're a very important part of having an Instagram profile. So your contact options, again, you want to make it easy for people to reach out to you. Today, everything in society is people want it now. People want it yesterday, right? They see something, they reach out to you, they want to hear from you right away. So one of the things that I learned in my career, working for different mortgage companies, is how these leads respond and the analytics behind them. If somebody emails you or messages you on Facebook or Instagram, if you use a lead service from Zillow or anything, and you don't contact that person within 5 minutes, your conversion, your chance to convert them decreases by 391%. 391%. So after the 5 minutes, I'm sorry, that's within the first minute. Within the first minute, if you contact somebody within the first minute, you're giving yourself a 391% better chance to convert them to a client. If you wait after 5 minutes, the chance of qualifying that lead then drop by even more, 80%. So my point is contact whatever person is reaching out to you in any of these different platforms within 5 minutes for your best chance to convert that person. But make these options as call, email, directions, put stuff in there that you have access to. Don't put an email account that you don't check all the time, that's not linked to your phone. Make sure all this stuff goes directly to you and that you monitor it. It's very easy. You don't have to do exactly what they say right away. So if they're asking a question, hey, I want to know about this house. I saw you're a realtor. Do you have time later today? We can talk on the phone. Blah, blah. You don't have to say an answer to all their questions. Say, hey, look, I got your message. I'm out with the client right now, but I'd love to respond and talk to you sooner. Can we set something up to call later? Just a quick response. That way they know you're there. They appreciate that. And that's the best way to convert that person. So let's see, contact options on Instagram are not visible or editable from a desktop. So you need to do all of this from your phone. Instagram is mainly for your phone. You can't do a lot of the things on a computer that you can do on the phone on Instagram, unlike Facebook. Facebook, you can do everything on both. Instagram, you're going to get all of your insights, all of the main stuff through the mobile phone. So if you're not a pro using your phone, become one. And if you don't want to add your actual address, you can use your city and state, like for the area that you serve, but you do want to have something in there so your location can be shown in your bio. Cool. So now you have the account set up. You want to follow other accounts and favorite accounts that correspond to your business. So that's your past clients, your sphere of influence, but also follow agents and people that, again, are doing what you aspire to be doing. If they're posting good posts, follow them, use that as inspiration. So in order to follow account, you would just search using that symbol at the bottom of the page, and then you click at the top of the search bar, and then you can go ahead and start searching for people. You can search different hashtags like real estate, Maryland real estate, Baltimore real estate, Annapolis real estate. You can even get smaller, Gaithersburg real estate, Westminster real estate, just little towns. I mean, there's a lot of different hashtags you'll find, and you'll get to become more accustomed to hashtags and what to look for when you start using them more. But and we'll talk about some tools to give you for which hashtags actually get more business and drive more people to your page a little bit later. But for now, just start following people that are relevant to your business. So the do's and don'ts of posting. This is very important. I see a lot of agents that just post, here's my listing, another one closed, coming soon, or just all real estate, real estate, real estate. And that's good, but it's not great, because the accounts that you find yourself following probably just don't talk about real estate, or they make light of things. They make jokes, they share memes. They talk about, what they're doing in their day, whether they're going out to a park or for a hike, or they took their kids to the park, or a funny photo of their kids. Do you have a dog that tends to get in trouble, or that's a cute dog? I do. That's what I post. I post my dog. This is my profile right here. And my puppy Otis, he's a good little guy, but people like pictures of him. I posted him once and people said, we want to see more of your dog. So you can see in the middle here, there's my dog, and then there's something about my business, then something about my business, then my dog, and then something about my business, then my dog. And if you were to continue scrolling down, the trend kind of continues that way. But there's stuff that I post about my family or what I'm doing, but you'll see that it's not just, hey, apply at lunchtime. It's, educating your clients. Why get pre-approved is the next post. And then below that is a testimonial that I've received that I share every now and again. So you want to make it so it's not just business. You don't want to sell all the time. So there's 3 different ways that you're going to share and connect to people on Instagram. There's the feed, the stories, and the direct message, and we're going to talk about each. So the feed is where you share images and follow the people and things that you really care about. So right when you log into Instagram, that's your feed where you're scrolling. And you scroll down, you just see all people who have posted to their feed. Now, the photos and videos Instagram thinks you care about the most will appear towards the top. And they're pretty good at getting that. So if you find yourself going to one profile over and over again, or you see it at the top of your home screen over and over again in your feed, it's because you keep clicking on it or you look at it for a long time. The algorithm is directed towards what interests you. Now, this is also where you can put hashtags when you post something in your feed. And if you're posting a video, videos are limited to a minute. Now you can upload a video that's longer than a minute, but you'll select a minute portion of that video. And we'll talk a little bit more about videos too. But to create a feed post, you click the plus button. That's now at the top. The screenshot is a little bit old. The feed button is actually at the top right. but it's that plus button still. Once you choose that, it's going to ask you to select a photo or video from your library to post. And then you can change the filters and stuff, play around with it, see what looks good. And then from there, you can tag people. You can put a location. I put a location on every one of mine. It helps get more exposure. I change it up. It doesn't have to be where you are. You know, I'm working from home right now, and I don't have to put, I can post that I'm, you know, at the Navy Stadium, you know, and it doesn't matter. You can put whatever you want there. There's very specific geolocations that you'll be able to select from, but it gives your content more visibility. And then adding hashtags is where you gain the most visibility. So once you add the hashtags, which we'll talk about which hashtags to choose, but once you do that and you share that post at that top right there, that's when it comes on somebody else's feed. And that's when you'll start to get likes and you'll start to see it. Well, you also see it on your wall when you click your profile. So hashtags are a very important part of Instagram. It's probably the most important part. So everyone should know what a hashtag is at this point. If you don't, shame on you. It's been around for long enough, but it's basically just the hash mark followed by a keyword or a topic of interest. So how will they benefit you in this? Well, people can search for a topic like we talked about, Maryland real estate, Annapolis real estate, or hashtag buying a home. So whenever a user adds a hashtag to their post, it's able to be indexed by that social media network and become searchable. So essentially, they help you get found by others. And as mentioned, you can add hashtags in the caption or the comments of the post. So you're allowed to have 30 total hashtags on one post, but don't go overboard. And you want to use hashtags that aren't too popular. So we'll be able to see how many posts are to a certain hashtag by using some tools. But if you use a hashtag like real estate could mean in any different state, right? Or any different part of the country, Canada, anybody who's in real estate worldwide. So that's millions of posts that if you post using that hashtag, you're going to get drowned out, right? Not that many people are going to see that. And also not the people that you want to see. So it's important to choose one that's not very popular, but popular enough to where you're going to get enough eyes in your area. So you want to use ones that are relevant and specific to your posts. So for example, well, we'll talk about the examples in a second, but for how many hashtags that you want to use, TrackMaven found that posts with 9 hashtags got the most engagement on social media. You don't need to do exactly 9 to get eyeballs on your post. I say shoot for around 10 to 12 per post. If you're trying to promote a listing or an open house, you might want to use more to get that reach. Although today, with the way the inventory is, you're probably trying to get less interest in your houses. But for now, 10 to 12 is a good area. If you're posting something that you need to gain exposure or traffic to, then start to use those higher amount of hashtags. But when you start to use a lot of hashtags, if you use a lot of the same ones, Instagram can pick up on that and miscategorize you as spam. So don't use too much. But some ideas that you want to look at, you either use some niche or topic related hashtags, some related to the industry, some branded, some location based. So all of these are really good ideas. So hashtag dream house, you know, and then the branded ones, you know, I have further together is something that I use a lot. So if you look up that hashtag, you'll see a lot of my posts, but save the ones that you find yourself using the most. So if you're an Annapolis realtor and or a Severn realtor and you're in Severn all the time and you put Severn real estate, hashtag Severn real estate at the bottom of your post every time, start saving those together so that when you post, you can just copy and paste, you know, in your notes app in your phone, and you don't have to type them out every single time. That's just a pro tip that we all use that you should start getting used to. But what hashtags should you use, right? Which ones are getting traction? Which ones, you know, really draw the most eyes? This is a tool that I use, All Hashtag. It's a free tool. It helps you find out keywords that you may not be thinking of. So on this site, if you look here at the search bar below it, it's kind of hard to see, but it says top, random, and live. Those are the three different options. So top would be the top hashtags for that category. So if you type in hashtag real estate, it'll show you 30, 60 different hashtags that are related to real estate that are the top performing hashtags in that category. Now, again, do we want the top ones? We might get drowned out by some of the other ones. But if you're looking at Maryland, hashtag Maryland, and then you look at the 30 top for that, maybe we're drawing in our audience, or hashtag Ellicott City. Then you look at the other 30 hashtags related to Ellicott City that are most used with it. Then you're starting to hone in on that audience. You don't want to have this super wide net. You want to make sure you're only casting a big enough net. And then the random is exactly that, random hashtags within that kind of category related to that. And then the live would be what's most active right now. So when you hear something is trending online, you can actually see, the hashtag that was trending with that. That's the live hashtag. So it's the ones that are most trending today. But use this. I use it all the time. It's a great tool. I have it saved as a bookmark on my phone, on my computer, so that I can use it when I need it. But it will also show you how many posts are connected to that hashtag. You want to be somewhere within the 1,000 to a couple hundred to a couple thousand posts. If you start going into the 90,000 to a couple 100,000 or 1 million, then again we're getting drowned out. So the other thing with the business account on Instagram is you get to monitor how effective your hashtags are by checking the insights section. So from there, you look for the impression section, and you'll check the performance of each hashtag that you use. So you can easily monitor which ones are performing well and which ones are not. And again, performing just means you're getting more eyes on your posts. So take notice of them. If you find that in that saved hashtags that you have, you're not getting a lot of results from one of them, delete it from your saved hashtags, replace it with another one that's doing well. This is going to come over time. It's not going to happen on day one. The other great feature that Instagram has, you can follow hashtags. So one of the hashtags that I follow is Maryland real estate. That way I can see what's going on with all the realtors. If anybody's doing good, I can like other people's posts and get inspiration for posts of my own. I also follow hashtag, loan officers, mortgage brokers. All these different things are going to be related to you, and they're going to show up in your feed. So not only will your feed be posts of people you follow, but it's also going to be hashtags that you follow. So make sure you're following relevant hashtags. It's also going to help people find you using that, but it's going to give you more exploration within the app. To follow a hashtag, you just search it in that search bar. And then when you click on it, you'll see that blue follow button, and then you'll just select that. And from now on, anybody who uses that hashtag across the entire world will show up within your feed if you follow that. You can always unfollow it if you choose to, but that way you can look at a person who's posting to that feed and say, what other hashtags are they using that might gain more exposure for you? Again, we're not stealing here. We're just trying to use other people's ideas to our own advantage. We're not reinventing the wheel. Instagram stories is a huge, huge thing right now. So over 400 million people are watching them every day. So it's probably the hottest thing on Instagram, and they're just a quick way for you to send pictures or videos. It's got a more like an on-the-go kind of feel, and it's not as formal. So a lot of the loan officers that I follow that do this well are posting different stuff throughout the day. If they're going to settlements, if they're going to open houses, if they're going and meeting realtors, they're posting all these different little things just by adding it to their stories. And it's a very easy way to connect to people. And it's going to give you a visual representation of your day-to-day if you use it right. And they let you capture and post pictures and video. So they share them in kind of a slideshow format. So if you haven't used it before, it's once you get on there, start looking at the stories of the people that you follow originally. If you have used it before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you post to your story, if your story is linked, or if your Instagram is linked to your business account, it'll also post to your Facebook story business account. So when I post a Facebook or an Instagram story, it transfers over to my Facebook story. So people who follow me on Facebook also see my Instagram story. So again, it's just more eyes, one post, one click. You don't have to do as much. So for the stories, you're actually going to see the top there is all your friends. So on your feed, on your home screen, that's all your friends and all your followers' stories. You can tap on the photo, swipe right to see the next one if you don't want to continue watching it. You can tap on the left side of the screen to replay a video, on the right side of the screen to go to the next video. They only last 24 hours. So if you're on there, if you post something and you don't like it, you can always remove it, but it always only lasts 24 hours. So people have to stay on top of this if you really want to generate a following for your Instagram story. There's no likes on these, but if you do like something, or if one of your followers likes the actual story or says something, it'll be a direct message to you, which is a good chance to interact with them. And it means you did something to inspire them to reach out to you. So do it, see what inspires people, see what you get reactions from. It's not supposed to be very formal, again. So if you're just going to an open house, or you're showing a house to somebody, post the bathroom that you like, or if it's a house that needs a roof and it's obvious, just post it and show like, this is what, it looks like. Or if there's something funny, a red toilet or something weird, that you've never seen before, post that to your story. People like that. People like to see the personal side of real estate. I already talked about this a little bit to move to the different stories. If you see at the top of the screen there, there's these little different bars. That's how many videos are connected or images are connected to that person's story that day. So on the left, that person posted 6 stories, 6 different things for their story that day, and you can go between all of them. And then once you're done that, it'll go to the next person. So again, for the stories, you're going to click the camera this time, and then you're going to take a photo or video. But the fun part of this is you can kind of add stickers, and there's a lot of different creative stuff. So once you go and take your photo, up at the top right, there's going to be a little smiley face icon. And when you click that, it's going to add stickers. So that's the second screen in the middle there. You can, once you hit the location or the mention or the share with or the hashtag, it'll show up whatever your location is, or whatever the temperature is, whatever time it is. So if you're up early, 3 a.m. working out, post the time, show people what you're doing, and that you're up and after it. People like to see that. There's also polls and questions. So on the right side, who's coming to my open house? And people can select yes or no. And you can find out who's looked at it and who didn't answer it and who did answer it and what they said. You can change the colors for these stickers by right-clicking on them. If you select within the sticker, it'll ask you to change the different colors, formats. So there's a lot of different customization that you can do here. Again, you don't follow people who are doing this well. Follow people who are, so you can get inspiration. So that way you don't feel like you have to come up with all this content yourself. All right, so the Instagram story highlights. So the stories remain for 24 hours. The highlights saved on your profile page. So these can give, or they live permanently on the profile page, but they are like a movie trailer or a commercial for your Instagram feed. So they're a creative way to express yourself, show off your products, drive traffic, market your business. Because of the location on the page, it draws the user's eyes. So people are using these a lot. And again, highlights are things that you do. So this one, clients, so they probably have testimonials or the client closing pictures. Podcasts they have here. Locals, so they'll have different pictures of different restaurants they go to and meeting clients, talking about different businesses. Reviews, obviously, is self-explanatory, but do these different highlights and how to set them up. you want to go to the story controls in your settings, and you want to make sure that you archive your stories. That way it saves all the stories that you post, and you can go back and pick the best ones that you like to put together as a highlight. So it's saved through archive. And then the next thing you do is you'll tap on your home screen to add, to select the story, and then you're going to pick all your different stories that you want to do. So it's going to take some time to build up these stories and save them in your archive, but once you do have enough stories, it'll ask you to put a title and a cover, so that way it looks good, whether it's a headshot or if it's for testimonials, if it's just a review or a Zillow symbol, whatever it is that you guys prefer. But again, look at the people who are doing it well and see what they do and get inspiration from that. Instagram TV. So this was launched as the first standalone video platform for Instagram. It's a different channel to grow. It's kind of like a YouTube, and I'm not doing a deep dive on this because it's something that Google and Instagram share a lot of information about. My job is just to give you ideas for posts and things like that. So download the app, you'll sign in. Now it's very easy to use, but once your channel is live, once you sign in, that's when you can start to upload videos. And you're going to need to have an Instagram title, like an IGTV name. And then you're going to have a title and a description for all your videos, just like you have YouTube. So if anybody's into YouTube here, this is going to be very familiar to you. You're going to want to use relevant keywords and phrases in your description, just like you do on YouTube. You can add links, just like YouTube, and they can click on the links to take them outside of the Instagram app. So uploading a cover photo, uploading a custom cover is probably best, just like the custom profile picture. And you want to use a thumbnail for your video. They'll allow you to select all that. But all this stuff, again, is going to be I'm doing a high level overview because it's more for people who do like to use the videos, who have YouTube channel and like to have those longer videos. Like if you're showing a house, or if you have monthly meetings or monthly tips that you do, like a 1 to 5 minute discussion with your followers about, here's what the market's doing today, and here's what you can expect as a first time home buyer. Really for people who want to get on air longer. So again, this is all about setting up and how to post the stories. And I'm not going to go through all of this. This is something you guys can read about when I give you the slides. If you guys are more interested in it, we can do a presentation on the Instagram TV. But for now, the stories and the feed are your main source of business that you should be looking at. The IGTV stories is something that's a bonus. So the do's and don'ts: don't use stock photos. It's tempting. They're all over Google, but don't use them. They're tacky. And if people see this photo somewhere else, then they're going to be suspicious of the company or suspicious of you. They just give off a certain vibe. They look too real or too perfect, right? Make sure that you're just using your own photos or photos that you can digitize and create and touch up on your own, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then also, like I said earlier, don't sell too much. Post pictures of your dog, of your kids, post pictures when you're golfing on the weekend or going for hikes or bird watching, whatever it is that you do outside of this. Don't be afraid to post that stuff. People want to see they're working with a human. Don't buy followers. Simple as that. It's not going to help you at all. You want organic followers. Just because people have a lot of followers doesn't mean other people are going to start following you, especially if you buy followers and you have not a lot of posts, then it's going to look pretty fake. And then get hyper local. So show your neighborhood, show the restaurants, show pictures of cute streets or parks. The listing that you have may be the most beautiful home ever, but people want to know if it's in a good area. So as you're driving up to it, take pictures of the neighborhood on your story and how you pull in, if there's a nice terrace or something, whatever it is, just make sure you're getting local, show the area that the home is in. And then outside of that, in your daily, out while you're out and about meeting clients, bagel shops, coffee shops, anything you're going to meet them, post things. I had the croissant here. It was great. All that stuff people love to see. So do share the listings and the coming soon and the property sold, but it shouldn't be all of your content. People do like to see you're doing well, but they don't want to know, everything that you have going on, every different client that you've got pre-approved or that you got under contract. But anytime you do have these, put them on there, but just don't overdo it. So some ideas of some accounts to follow for you guys. That's going to give you a good idea of what you should be doing, or at least some inspiration. So there's Ryan Sarahant from $1 Million Listing. Peter, now he is a top agent in Beverly Hills. And then Brenda is a realtor who, her page is just really, really good. So if you get a chance, follow Brenda. She's got a very good branding. Everything looks very good and similar. And all this stuff, their posts, if they look super professional, they may be, but there's a lot of tools that you can use that will help you look professional and not make it look like you're just some person behind a computer. So we're going to talk about some of those. Canva, we've all heard of Canva, or at least we should have. This is probably the best app for doing these posts. It's very simple. It's free for a lot of the stuff that they have, and you can use so many different templates and you can save them. And the paid version is very, very, very good. The free version is very good. So use it anytime you want to post. That's what I use to post my testimonials. But again, it's free. Go on the site if you don't have an account, play with it, do all your posts that way. It is such a great tool to use. Everyone who uses it continues to use it because it has a lot of good tools, and it's very, very, very easy to use. Have you ever seen somebody who's like running or walking, and it's going really fast, like a time lapse of like a sunset or something like that? This is usually done using Hyperlapse. It's a separate app, but it's very fun when you put it together and it looks good. It's a long recorded video or a lot of pictures put together. But it's just, if you go out and you run, let's just say you're a runner and in the morning you go for a 3-mile run, just have your video on your phone in front of you, whether it's strapped to your chest or on your arm or something, but somewhere where it's somewhat stable and you can speed that up. Other things would be walking through a house. So if you do a whole showing at a house, just hold your phone out in front of you while you walk through the kitchen, you walk around, you walk upstairs, and you walk down to the basement, you walk outside, and you walk through your neighborhood. It'll speed up all that. So it's a very cool visual effect just to give some more oomph to your profile and your stories. InShot allows you to edit videos. It's got cool features to trim and cut movies. You can blur the background, add music, stickers, there's effects. This is great for the stories and for the IGTV videos. Boomerang, I think we've all seen that. It works by taking super short, super fast burst of photos and stitching them together in a back and forth mini loop. So if someone doing something back and forth, that's the Boomerang. It was very popular a little bit ago. People still use it, so continue to use it. But it's just another tool that you can have fun with. Cut Story allows you to stitch videos together. Again, it's a lot like the last one that we spoke about, InShot, a little bit different, but it cuts things into 15-second clips and stitches them together. So what you get is a single Instagram story up to a minute that is a bunch of 15-second or 4 15-second clips. So play around with these. This one is a visual planner scheduler. Now it'll do everything on Instagram. So You can schedule posts, you can comment, engage, measure results. The paid version is really more, that's the better one here. The free version is not as good, but the one that I use is Later. Later I use is free, and I schedule my post out a month in advance. So it's free for a month, and I have both my Instagram and Facebook set up there. So when I post to one, it posts to the other, like I mentioned. And it also allows you to put the hashtags in, the geolocation, and it also has insights of its own. So it measures results in a slightly different way. But this one, so I'll have all my ideas for 30 days scheduled out. Monday it'll be something about pre-approvals, whereas Wednesday it'll be a testimonial, and Friday it'll be Otis the dog. And in between, on Tuesday I'm posting my stories, on Wednesday and Thursday I'm posting my stories. Maybe I get inspired by a conversation I had with a borrower to post something else. This is just so you schedule out posts that are always going to be there, and then in between you sprinkle in the things that you're inspired by at that moment. But I would recommend Later very highly. It's a very great way to, and you can see it as a calendar. It sets it all up very nice for you. And the timing. So it allows you to schedule the time, obviously, and it'll give you an insight, just like the insights on Instagram, as to what time you should post it by doing what's called smart posting. So if you say, I want to post it at 5, it'll post it around 5 whenever they see that the most users are on. So in summary here, I've gone over all of this, and I know I've spoken a lot. I don't like always doing these kind of presentations because I don't get to interact with you guys a ton like I did when I was in the classrooms. So if there's anything that you guys want to talk about after this, you want to get together for coffee or something, and I've inspired you to do something more, please let me know. The human interaction has kind of gone by the wayside right now, but I'd love to kind of connect with a lot of you. Heritage Financial, we're a broker. We help your clients get lower rates. If you look up retail versus wholesale rates, wholesale are always the lowest. That's what Heritage Financial is. We're a wholesale, we're a broker. And we work with top lenders like Quicken Loans down to mom and pop shops that you've never heard of, but that do loans just as good, but maybe a little bit cheaper because they don't have as much staff and they're not advertising during the Super Bowl. And we facilitate the whole deal here in-house with in-house processors, and they have in-house underwriters. So I've been doing this for close to 10 years now. It's all I've ever done since I graduated. I love the industry, and I love realtors and real estate agents that love the industry as well. Connect with me. Let's talk more. Let's, generate ideas. Let's take a deeper dive. If you guys want more presentations, more ideas, more things that you think you could learn or benefit from, share that with me. I'm here to help you guys and help you guys grow your business if there's anything that I can do. InShot, Khadija asked if it's a separate app or if it's inside. It's a separate app. All of those are separate tools that you can use. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, again, reach out to me. I'm going to send you this guide with getting started with Instagram. This is a little dated. So there's a couple things that's going to say in there, like I showed you before, where to select to add a post. It might not be in the same spot of the screen, but it's on the same screen. So just take that with a grain of salt because we're updating that. But for now, if you have any questions about anything on there, if it doesn't make sense, let me know. But most of the content in there, 95% of it is still up to date and relevant. So again, thank you guys. I appreciate you. And if there's something I can do for you, I'm here, Kyle@heritagefinancial.com, and close_with_Kyle on Instagram. Follow me, and we'll talk soon, hopefully. All right. Gary, anything else?
Nope. Thank you, Kyle, for your time. And thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. As mentioned earlier, this webinar was recorded and we will be sending out the links for it. It'll be on our YouTube as well as our agent dashboard. And we will also send out the PDFs for the slides as well as the checklist that Kyle just mentioned. But that should do it. Look forward to our next one next month. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.